For sir, I've been told that when the smallpox breaks out amongst the women and children, this is of the Piegan Indians, Piegan, Piegan Indians. When smallpox breaks out amongst the women and children of that famous tribe, as it sometimes does, they afford the finest subjects in the world for the strategic experiments of any enterprise and military hero who desires to improve himself in the noble art of war, especially for any valiant lieutenant general whose trenchant blade, Toledo trusty, for want of fighting has gone rusty, who eats into itself for lack of somebody to hew and hack. This is J. Proctor Knott captivates the House of Representatives. 1871, he's kind of being sarcastic and talking about how Duluth, Minnesota is the greatest city that's ever existed. Here's two just quotes to give you a sense of what the preceding 25 minutes was about. And then you had the fabled Atlantis, never seen save by the hallowed vision of the inspired Posey, was in fact but another name for Duluth. That the golden orchard of the Hesperides was but a poetic synonym for the beer gardens in the vicinity of Duluth. I was certain that Herodotus had died a miserable death because in all his travels and with all his geographical research he had never heard of Duluth. I knew that if the immortal spirit of Homer could look down from another heaven, Duluth must be a place of untold delights, a terrestrial paradise fanned by the balmy zephyrs of an eternal spring, clothed in the gorgeous sheen of ever-blooming flowers, and vocal with the silvery melody of nature's choicest songsters. So we got two more pages, finishing off. Sir, the great conflict now raging in the old world has presented a phenomenon in military science unprecedented in the annals of mankind, a phenomenon that has reversed all the traditions of the past, as it has disappointed all the expectations of the present. A great and warlike people renowned alike for the skill and valor have been swept away before the triumphant advance of an inferior foe, like autumn stubble before a hurricane of fire. For aught I know, the next flash of electric fire that shimmers along the ocean cable may tell us that Paris, with every fiber quivering with the agony of impotent despair, wreathes beneath the conquering heel of her loathed invader. Ere another moon shall wax and wane, the brightest star in the galaxy of nations may fall from the zenith of her glory, never to rise again. Ere the modest violets of early spring shall open their beauteous eyes, the genius of civilization may chant the wailing requiem of the proudest nationality the world has ever seen, as she scatters her withered and tear-moistened lilies over the bloody tomb of butchered France. But, sir, I wish to ask you if you honestly and candidly believe that the Dutch would have overrun the French in that kind of style if General Sheridan had not gone over there and told King William and von Moltke how he had managed to whip the Piegan Indians. And here, sir, recurring to this map, I find in the immediate vicinity of the Piegans vast herds of buffalo and immense fields of rich wheat lands. Here the hammer fell, many cries, "Go on, go on!" The speaker, is there objection to the gentleman of Kentucky continuing his remarks? The chair hears none. The gentleman will proceed. I was remarking, sir, upon these vast wheat fields represented on this map in the immediate neighborhood of the buffaloes and the Piegans, and was about to say that the idea of there being these immense wheat fields in the very heart of a wilderness, hundreds and hundreds of miles beyond the utmost verge of civilization, may appear to some gentlemen as rather incongruous, as rather too great a strain on the blankets of veracity. But to my mind, there's no difficulty in the matter whatever. The phenomenon is very easily accounted for. It is evident, sir, that the Piegans sowed that wheat there and plowed it with buffalo bulls. Now, sir, this fortunate combination of buffaloes and Piegans, considering their relative positions to each other and to Duluth, as they're arranged on the map, satisfies me that Duluth is destined to be the beef market of the world. Here you will observe, pointing to the map, are the buffaloes directly between the Piegans and Duluth, and here, right on the road to Duluth, are the creeks. Now, sir, when the buffaloes are sufficiently fat from grazing on these immense wheat fields, you will see It will be the easiest thing in the world for the Peigans to drive them on down, stay all night with their friends at Creeks, and go into Duluth in the morning. I think I see them now, sir, a vast herd of buffaloes with their heads down, their eyes glaring, their nostrils dilated, their tongues out, their tails curled over their backs, tearing along towards Duluth with about 1,000 Peigans on their grass-bellied ponies yelling at their heels. On they come, and they sweep past the Creeks. They join in the chase, and away they all go, yelling, bellowing, ripping, and tearing along amid clouds of dust until the last buffalo is safely pinned in the stockyards of Duluth. Sir, I might stand here for hours and hours and expatiate with rapture upon the gorgeous prospects of Duluth as depicted upon this map, but human life is too short, and the time in this house far too valuable to allow me to linger longer upon the delightful theme. This is better writing than Hemingway. This is better writing than fucking Billy Budd Hemingway. Some of your postmodernist Hemingway. J. Proctor Knott carries on. But human life is too short, and the time of this house far too valuable to allow me to linger longer upon the delightful theme. I think every gentleman on this floor is as well satisfied as I am that Duluth is destined to be the commercial metropolis of the universe, and that this road should be built at once. I'm fully persuaded that no patriotic representative of the American people who has a proper appreciation of the associated glories of Duluth and the St. Croix will hesitate a moment to say that every able-bodied female in the land between the ages of 18 and 45 who is in favor of women's rights should be drafted and set to work upon this great work without delay. Nevertheless, sir, it grieves my very soul to be compelled to say that I cannot vote for the grants of land provided for in this bill. Ah, sir, you can have no conception of the poignancy of my anguish that I am deprived of that blessed privilege. There are two insurmountable obstacles in the way. In the first place, my constituents, for whom I am acting here, have no more interest in this road than they have in the great question of culinary taste, now perhaps agitating the public mind of Dominica as to whether the illustrious commissioners who recently left this capital for that free and enlightened republic would be better fricasseed, boiled, or roasted. And in the second place, these lands which I am asked to give away, alas, are not mine to bestow. My relation to them is simply that of trustee to an express trust on, and shall I ever betray that trust? No, never, sir. Rather perish Duluth, perish the paragon of cities. Rather let the freezing cyclones of the bleak northwest bury it forever beneath the eddying sands of the raging St. Croix. Several times J. Proctor Knott stopped speaking, but amid peals of laughter voices urged him to go on. When he finished, the bill to put Duluth on the map was promptly killed. It's interesting to note that lavish land grants to railroads, which had been congressional policy since the Civil War, came to an end about this time. The speech was read, chuckled over from one end of the country to the other. Indeed, it may have been too successful. In the opinion of some, the reputation J. Proctor Knott acquired as a humorist ruined his reputation as a sound statesman and blighted his career in national politics. General Garfield, at any rate, was convinced that humor and political success were incompatible. While running for president, he explained to Chauncey Depew that when he entered politics, he found that humor was impairing his reputation for seriousness, so I decided to cut it out. J. Proctor Knott served 3 more terms in the House of Representatives, 1875 to 83, but did not rise to special eminence. He was governor of Kentucky for 4 years, and in 1892 became a professor of economics at Center College in Danville, Kentucky. In the meantime, his lush travesty on the glories of Duluth was not forgotten. Visiting that city years after he had delivered the speech, J. Proctor Knott found that even here his humor was appreciated, and he was given a warm and admiring reception. Even Duluth appreciated J. Proctor Knott. A Kentuckian. Could you imagine a Kentuckian talking like that today? I've never heard a Kentuckian talk like that. What? They went to different public schools back then. 1871? That motherfucker was reading Homer, Moses. Did you hear all them references? My God. My God. That's a speech for the presidency. And he just wrote it to stop a fucking road. Stop a road from going to Duluth. And poor Duluth, right? In this city today. Let's check out what's Duluth today. Let's talk about the metropolis of untold delights. This metropolis of the universe that would make even Homer jealous. Not Simpson, but Homer of the Iliad and the Odyssey. Because, he's fucking smart and he's referencing, smart shit. So let's go with the old Duluth, Minnesota. City in Minnesota. Okay, we're getting closer. Duluth is a port city on Lake Superior. A port city. Oh my God. So it's actually like, it's not, it ain't nothing. It ain't fucking nothing. Port City Great Lakes Aquarium. It's right on Lake Superior Zoo. You have Dewey, Carlton, Esco, Hermantown. A lot of French River, Palmers. And then apparently there was supposed to be Duluth Heights, East Hillside, a big old St. Louis Bay, St. Louis River, Spirit Lake. Where's that LaCroix at? That damn LaCroix thing. St. Louis River separates Minnesota and Wisconsin. Here's some other river here. What is it? Sargent Creek. Where is this damn St. Croix? And so it's right there at the bottom of Lake Superior. But Lake Superior, you got the Great Lakes. So it's not like at the very bottom's Chicago. Chicago's doing pretty fucking good. You got a big old body of fucking water, so you won't have to worry about water. Duluth is probably a place of untold delights. So it's not popping up with the St. Croix, but Duluth is a port city on Lake Superior, Minnesota. The waterfront Lake Walk Trail passes along Canal Park. The views of the 1905 aerial lift bridge, the landmark, connects the city to the Point Park Sandbar. The Great Lakes Aquarium includes salt and freshwater animals housed in a former train depot. Lake Superior Railroad Museum features vintage locomotives. Glen Sheen is a 1908 mansion on a vast lakeside estate. Population 85,000, so it's a little smaller than Pueblo, Colorado. Pueblo, I would say, is like the third, fourth biggest city in Colorado, behind Denver and Colorado Springs. Denver's like fucking millions, right? But 100,000, so it's a pueblo. It's basically a pueblo. Not untold delights. They got some, pretty big buildings there, like not huge skyscrapers, but you got some 20-story buildings there. Some nice little bridge, and it's all that beautiful water. All that gorgeous water right there. So you have not just trucking and train, and I'm sure there's an airport around there, but you could also, trade with Canada. Duluth is a fantastic spot. So, he killed that road or whatever. Hopefully they got, some other roads. Poor Duluth, because of Andrew Jackson and Henry Clay's beef. Henry Clay lost a road for Kentucky because Andrew Jackson was like, fuck Henry Clay. Nah, we ain't going to give him a road for Kentucky. And then I wonder if, you had a road from, I think it's Lexington to Maysville. A fucking high-speed, nice road that would have been pretty sweet. Top things to do in Duluth. Explore Minnesota. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple of these things, and then we're going to get the hell out of here, okay? Canal Park. The neighborhood is abuzz with restaurants, breweries, Lake Superior Maritime, Visitor Center, waves. No, I'm tired of agreeing to the fucking cookies, you fucking pricks. I have to goddamn agree to 15 different cookies with every website. Native view with rivers drying up. Remember, water is life. Lee J. Lighten, 2 killed in central Minnesota plane crash. Duluth. Let's take a look at the St. Croix. St. Croix. Should we try to figure out how to actually pronounce it? Thank you. God bless my soul. Duluth, Minnesota, St. Croix. St. Croix. Hey, you didn't pronounce it right. I pronounce it a way that you remember it forever now. And other people know what the hell I'm talking about. I typed in St. Croix, I couldn't find it. Okay, then type in St. Croix. St. Croix? You're not from around here, are you? St. Croix? X is silent? You're not from around. That's French. You're not English. You're not from around here. Tell me I'm not from around you and you're the one that's not around here. St. Croix Hospice? No, the river. You son of a mother. God. Hospice Overland Park. Is there no river? It's just a creek. St. Croix River State Water Trail. Okay. Crow River flows. Islands. Where the hell is this damn Duluth at?